everyone, so since Uzaki-chan is still getting a lot of hate, I decided maybe now is a good time to talk about boobs. Breast envy, ladies and gentlemen, is very real. Although there are some people who like to claim that it's just a rumor, it's very real. Now, envy is a very curious emotion because people who feel envious don't like to admit that they're envious. Because if they're envious, it means that they're insecure, and that's a flaw within themselves. No one really likes to admit flaws within themselves, but the emotion of anger and bitterness is still there because people who are envious want something that somebody else already has, or at least in their eyes, that other person already has that. So they'll feel anger and bitter towards this person or this particular group of people, or even in Uzaki's case, just a fictional character, just a fictional drawing, and they want to find some other explanation for why they feel angry about this particular thing, because they don't want to admit that they're envious. Otherwise, then they're the flawed one, then they're the bad person. So a lot of people who are really angry at these types of characters with, you know, big boobs and nice curvy bodies or something about them, those characters will often get the claim that they're over-sexualized. Is that really the problem? I don't know, Uzaki seems kind of fully clothed to me. And it seems a lot of feminists jump on board with this claim, like big boobs equals sexualization, therefore you can't make characters with big boobs, otherwise you're turning women into sexual objects. Even though women in real life have big boobs, and the whole point of cartoons is to over-exaggerate features. So people weren't really buying the idea that Uzaki was over-sexualized, because people have been basically slamming the claim of over-sexualization of curvy women for years. So then what's the new claim that they have against her? Well, now they say that she looks like a child. And if you're attracted to her, you're actually attracted to children. Yeah, I'm sure that's the problem that they have with her. To some extent, I can understand why a lot of insecure women would really dislike anime girls. Because if you look at the whole otaku crowd who are super into anime girls, it's not just about fawning over really cute anime girls on the screen, but also, you know, they buy the figurines, they buy the body pillows, there are some men out there who go a little bit overboard with their anime waifus. And that can make a lot of women who have trouble getting a boyfriend really envious. It's like, why are these guys fawning over these fake women online? Why aren't they fawning over me? I'm real! And that's really what envy is all about. It's just like pointing out the flaws in other people so people don't notice the flaws in you. You're insecure. At the end of the day, the real problem is just that you're insecure. You're worried that guys won't notice you because they're always noticing their anime waifus instead. Which, you know, sounds silly when you say it out loud, but that's why they don't say it out loud. And honestly, in my past, I have been pretty critical of how anime has been sexualizing a lot of their characters, a lot of the fan service. When I was younger, I had more of a problem with it. Maybe that's just because, you know, I was surrounded by the feminist politics and I just assumed I had to go with whatever the feminists say, otherwise I'm not a real woman. But during my teenage years, I was also really insecure about my looks. I thought that I was ugly for most of my life. As I grew up, I became a little bit more confident, and now I don't really care what other people think. Nor do I really have to care what other people think, because I already have a boyfriend. I don't really have to show off that much, you know? And before that, before I was even introduced to anime, back in my much more youthful years, hold on to your seats, guys, you're getting personal stories from Dan Fan. Now, when I was growing up, my sister and brother would absolutely torment me. But during my puberty, my sister in particular would really mock me as far as growing in that area. Now, my sister has always been very skinny and petite, mostly because of a medical condition, which I won't get into. But I think because of that, she was a little bit of a late bloomer. You see where I'm going with this? So as mine were beginning and hers were starting late, there was a little bit more reason to be very bitter towards me. And I remember a very specific memory in which she made fun of me in front of all of her friends, and basically I responded to this by running inside and wearing a sports bra so that nobody could notice. And it's not even like they were really big. When you're going through puberty, you don't just wake up one day with B cups. But it's just the idea that she was late and I was early that really bothered her. At least that's my theory. And she could be really brutal sometimes. I remember she used to punch me in that area, and I don't know if any of you other girls ever got punched in the boob, but it's a very strange, sickening pain. Flashing forward, my boyfriend is writing a short romance novel, and the female love interest he wrote to have big boobs. Now naturally, he knew that that was a little bit risky to do because he describes her, and there are envious women out there who might feel uncomfortable having a love interest with big boobs and having the guy go after her because they think, oh, well, he's just going after her because she has big boobs. Alright guys, confirmed. That light that I just bought not too long ago that I made a big deal of, like finally I have a professional, it just broke. Thanks, Amazon. Anyway, like I was saying, he knew it was risky to have a character with big boobs to see if this character still worked in his romance. Naturally, he got a lot of feedback on his romance book, and he would specifically hand it off to his female friends to see what they thought, and he handed it to me, and for the most part I thought it was okay. But a lot of the girls that he handed the story to get their opinion on of this character, a lot of them would say, no, she can't have big boobs. You need to rewrite it so that she doesn't have big boobs anymore. And they were very, very strict on that decision, that she just could not have big boobs. No matter what, you can't make it work. So he tried to ask them, okay, what can I change about this story? What can I change about this character that can make it so she's allowed to have big boobs in your eyes? And most of them didn't really have an answer. I think one person said to him that she had to be in physical pain for most of the book in order for it to be okay for her to have big boobs. Like the boobs have to be a burden that puts her in physical pain for it to be okay. So basically, torture the character. But it is kind of silly how people react to something so simple as a character design. It's not even like they had small boobs, but they were still very upset at the idea that this pretty character has big boobs, and that's just a feature that she has. So it makes me think that envious people are able to convince other people that there are other reasons to hate characters with big boobs, and envy is not the reason. The character is flawed, not me for hating it. And of course, I do think that there are men online who want girlfriends and think that this is the way to get the girlfriend, by like being very agreeable with this type of argument online. If girls are saying this is over-sexualized, I should agree with them. They'll like me if I agree with them. To those men, I would say, hey, you probably don't want a girlfriend who wants you to be blindly agreeable to everything they say. More so, girls don't want guys who are just blindly agreeable. We prefer men with their own minds. So the topic of today's video, guys, breast envy. If you've had experience with breast envy, either personal or just an observer, comment down below and share your own experiences on the matter. Share your own thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Program restart.